The pounding on my front door started before sunrise. 3 sharp knocks, loud, aggressive, and demanding, echoed through my quiet neighborhood. I wasn't expecting anyone. When I opened the door, I found myself face to face with her. Karen, president of the Willow Creek HOA, a woman who treated our neighborhood like her personal kingdom, clipboard in hand, judgmental squint locked in place, and the kind of smile that said she was about to ruin your day just for fun. "Good morning," she chirped in that fake sweet tone. "You're in violation of multiple HOA codes. I'm afraid we'll have to begin the eviction process." I blinked, still half asleep. "Eviction? This is my house," she smirked. Not for long. That was the moment everything changed. 2 years earlier, I'd bought my home outright. No mortgage, no debt. I'd worked my whole life, 20 years in law enforcement, another 10 as a private investigator, to afford peace and quiet by a small lake in a gated community. I wasn't even part of the HOA when I moved in. The property was technically outside its jurisdiction. But that didn't stop Karen. From the first week, she was on me about something. My mailbox wasn't the approved color, my pickup truck was too large for the driveway, and she even claimed my flagpole violated aesthetic harmony. Still, I stayed polite. I'd seen worse people than her in my career. But when I politely told her my property wasn't under HOA control, she snapped. "We'll see about that," she hissed, marching off with her clipboard like she was storming a battlefield. Weeks passed. Then came the letters. Stacks of them, each stamped with the Willow Creek HOA logo, violation notices, fines, demands. I ignored them at first, knowing they held no legal power. But then, one morning, I received something different. A court summons. The HOA was suing me for trespassing, on my own land. According to their claim, my property had been annexed into the HOA's boundaries during a recent community expansion. I'd never signed anything, never been notified, never agreed. It was the kind of audacious, arrogant move only someone like Karen could dream up. Still, I wasn't worried. Because what she didn't know was that I wasn't just a homeowner. I was retired law enforcement and part-time legal consultant for the county judge. The day of the hearing arrived like a storm on the horizon. Karen showed up in full HOA regalia, pastel blazer, pearls, and a thick binder stuffed with evidence. She had a small entourage of board members behind her, whispering like vultures circling a meal. I walked in calmly, suit pressed, documents in hand. The courtroom buzzed with quiet curiosity. Even the bailiff gave me a nod of recognition. The judge, a sharp but fair woman named Judge Lawson, entered and took her seat. "We're here today to address case number 2025-11B, Willow Creek HOA vs. Mr. Daniel Harris." Karen leapt to her feet before the judge even finished. "Your Honor, the defendant has repeatedly violated HOA regulations, ignored citations, and trespassed on common property. We are seeking his immediate eviction." The judge raised an eyebrow. "Eviction? From property he owns?" Karen nodded eagerly. "Yes, Your Honor. His home is now part of our association. He is refusing to comply with community standards. Do you have proof of annexation?" the judge asked. Karen smiled like a cat with a mouse in her paws. "Yes, right here." She held up a document with a flourish. But when the judge took it and began reading, her expression shifted. "This isn't a legal annexation form. It's a petition, unsigned, undated, and missing the county seal." Karen blinked. "Well, it was approved by our board." The judge set the paper down. "That doesn't make it law." A low murmur rippled through the courtroom. I stayed quiet. I didn't need to say much yet. When it was my turn, I stood and handed the judge my folder. Inside were county property records, the original deed, zoning maps, and correspondence showing that my land was exempt from HOA control. Judge Lawson reviewed them carefully. Then she looked up at me with a knowing smile. "Mr. Harris, I see here that you also serve as a legal advisor to this county." "Yes, Your Honor," I replied. Her expression softened just slightly. "So you're aware that this annexation claim has no legal standing whatsoever?" I nodded. "That's correct. The HOA overstepped its authority." Karen's smug grin melted into panic. "That can't be right. We voted on it. The community agreed." The judge leaned forward, eyes like steel. "You can vote on anything you want, Ms. Walker. But the law doesn't bend to personal opinion, or neighborhood politics." The courtroom went silent except for the sound of Karen's binder sliding from her trembling hands. Dash dash dash. And then came the part I'll never forget. Judge Lawson took a deep breath, set her gavel down, and looked directly at Karen. Ms. Walker, she said firmly, you have wasted this court's time with a baseless lawsuit. Not only is Mr. Harris the lawful owner of his property, but your organization's attempt to annex private land without consent constitutes fraudulent misrepresentation. Karen's face went pale. Therefore, the judge continued, I'm not only dismissing this case, I'm referring the Willow Creek WA to the county attorney's office for investigation. Karen's mouth opened, but no words came out. She just stood there, frozen, as the gavel slammed down. Case dismissed. Dash dash dash. After the hearing, I walked out into the crisp afternoon air, free and vindicated. Karen followed, but the arrogance was gone. She looked smaller somehow, deflated. I didn't know, she stammered. I stopped and turned to face her. You didn't ask. You just assumed you could bully people into obedience. She said nothing. The board members who had come with her quietly drifted away, not wanting to be seen near her. For once, her clipboard was empty. Dash dash dash. A week later, a county investigator visited the WA office. Word spread fast through the community. Homeowners began questioning the board, demanding answers about hidden fees, falsified documents, and intimidation tactics. Within a month, the entire WA board, including Karen, had resigned. Their replacements reached out to me personally to apologize and even asked for my advice on how to reset the neighborhood's reputation. I told them I didn't want power. I just wanted peace. So I helped them draw up new bylaws, fair ones, transparent ones. I even helped them organize a community barbecue to rebuild trust. That weekend, I stood on my porch watching families laugh and kids play in the park. For the first time since I moved in, the neighborhood actually felt like a community. As the sun set, I saw Karen drive by in her car. She didn't stop, didn't wave, just stared straight ahead and disappeared down the road. And I couldn't help but smile. Because sometimes, revenge doesn't need to be loud. Sometimes, it's just the quiet satisfaction of justice served, and the peace that follows when truth wins out.